live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Mental health moment.
Yeah.
Who we got today, Steph?
So this one is Michael Beasley. Former, I guess I can say former, because he hadn't played since 2019, I think. Former NBA player. He was this week, he was the guest on the Pivot podcast with Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, and Ryan Clark. And it was hard to watch. Watching this young man talk about his struggles with trust and people calling him crazy his whole life, and just him making the effort to reach out to try to get help, and people feeling like people were not there for him. And some of this could be absolutely some mental challenges that he has, but no matter, it's his reality. I'm gonna just say that it's his reality. This is how he feels about it, and that absolutely broke my heart. Because, like I told you when I told you about it, and I would encourage everybody, just go watch it for yourself. But he spoke about from age 5, all he's ever been told was he's a basketball player, and everything around him was made so that he could just focus on basketball. And so I feel like when he got into the league and he was number 2, he went number 2 in the draft that year, and high expectations. He went to Miami, high expectations, and nothing in his basketball career over the time that he played really panned out like he thought it would. Now, when you've been told you're a basketball player and then you get to the pinnacle and the pinnacle isn't working like you thought it would, and then you're like, to the people that you looked up to and were like, hey, can you help me out and help me get and it isn't even about a job. It's just, I need to figure out how to navigate this. And him feeling like that was never a response, never anybody that really came to his rescue, just broke my heart. Yeah. And that's why we do what we do with the Field to the Real project, and with Newbury Works and everything else we put our hands to, is because we want people to know they're more than the sport, and that, like, at this point, even in part of the show, Fred Taylor said to him, like, but now that you're not playing basketball professionally, you still have a story, you have something to share with the world. And he was just looking at him like with a blank stare, because he was like, I can't do that. I don't have, because all you've been told is you were a basketball player. Yeah. And it just broke my heart. I literally, and you can attest what I sent you, I literally was boo-hoo crying about this, because this is why I feel like I was put on this earth, is to help people like that not to be in those situations, honestly. Yeah. And even when they get in them, how can I help you move beyond this? Like, what do we do to get you beyond this? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's a prime person that I would love to be like one-on-one coaching. Yeah. Just let's work this through to you. Like, I want you to get some help, because there's some other stuff, some trauma that you need to deal with. But, you know, I mean, listen, if this is any indication for you, Jarrett, he had Channing Crowder crying.
Really? Yeah, I need to look at it. You know, I saw the clip that
his mother dying. And talked about the 6 weeks that he took off to go and care for her and watching her. He was like, it was like watching her become a raisin from cancer. Yeah. It's just a lot. And he's just, poor baby. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to cry. Listen, I made myself look like a human being for this show, because I told Jarrett, I was like, oh, let me get up now. Right. I was like, let me
I'm
get
gonna have
up
to get ready
now.
now
So,
because
yeah.
I
Yeah,
ain't
you
gonna
don't
make
want
it.
to see. Yeah, you don't want to see that snot face that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out because you know, I saw the clip that was floating around like everybody else did, and it touched both of us because as soon as I saw it, I said you.
Yep.
And so that was certainly appropriate for our mental health moment this week. And I didn't get to check it out beforehand. But just in the clip that I saw, like I could see the pain, you could see, you know, and you know it had to be deeper, right? So
Oh, it was
yeah, man,
very
shout out to
deep.
him. Prayers up for him.
Prayers up. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like that's the part. The man's 33 and he doesn't
Yeah.
trust anybody to the point that he doesn't leave his house. What is
Mhm.
that? How do you? What's the average lifespan for a man? They're like 75. So you
Mhm.
got most of your life left to live. How is it
Right.
possible that you're gonna
Not
live it
leaving
like
your
that?
house. Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Somebody need to pull that brother in.
Yeah. So I now appreciate, let me say this. Ryan Clark was eloquent in his response to him, in trying to help him understand, you know, Channing gonna be Channing.
Yeah.
And Fred gonna be Fred. And so, you know, Fred looking at it from there's a bigger purpose for your life, sir. And Channon's like, you know, bring your kids to my house. We can drink beer while they bounce it out. Like we can bond and make something. He was like, you got to get out your house and you got to find somebody to trust. But Ryan was just like, I hear where you are, but I just need you to know we're here. Like we're saying we're here. You can call me. Like I'm gonna give you my number. Because you can call me and I'm gonna call you.
Right.
Like I appreciated that they really were, you know, trying to rally around him to they could see. And like Ryan said, he came on there and changed their lives, just in what he said.
Yeah.
It was deep. But so, like you said, prayers to Michael Beasley. Yeah, all I can do is pray. Pray for you to be happy and whole. Pray for you to be willing to acknowledge, recognize, acknowledge, and accept the fix. You know what I mean? Accept the help to try to fix some of this for you. And you know, I always say this, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If anybody sees this, you know him. I'm so genuine in this. This is work that God put me here for, and so it's not about, despite what people have thought of me, it's not about the fact that they're athletes and they have money, because I've done this with high school athletes and college athletes who don't have no money. So it's not that. It's the passion, it's the love. It's all of our passion and our love. Right. So wherever and however we can be of assistance, if you want to get some help with moving forward. I'm not talking about your mental space. I'm talking about your life.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, feel good final thought.
Yeah.
So I thought this was appropriate given that, you know, the NCAA tournament is just starting. And over the last couple of years, one of the things that we've looked at and we've talked about is just how the women's tournament gets treated in comparison to the men's tournament. And so one of the things that I thought was good to highlight was that this is the first year that they allowed the women's tournament to expand to 68 teams, just like the men's tournament. And so while that may not seem like that big of a deal, what it does is the NCAA has to pay for those other 4 teams to be a part of the tournament. And so for the fact that they did that, and I'm not necessarily celebrating them, you know what I'm saying?
I know, we know that.
I'm celebrating, you know, the women for continuing to push, continuing to call out the injustice, continuing to call out the disparity in the way the men's basketball tournament gets treated versus the women's. So shout out to women's basketball. I know this was you know, it may not look like a big step, but it was a huge step.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And I think we're in Women's History Month too.
Yep.
So history in the making. There we go. So that's very appropriate. Yep. History in the making. Good stuff. I'm excited for, I mean, that means 4 more teams get that exposure and they get that opportunity. So I'm excited. Now, if y'all just make sure that they get the experience that the men get, then we good. Like, it's, hey, I'm here for it all day.
And shout out to my alma mater, Howard University, the women who they won the first play-in tournament for, you know, women's basketball. So I definitely had to highlight that part.
Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure.
Now we're not going to highlight the part of the score.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I hope they score more than 2 points at this point. But
they scored more than 2 points.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's 44-4 at halftime. Show picks. What you watching?
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm watching one of my favorite shows is back, and shout out to my brother Core, because he been watching this one too, because he was like, it's amazing. But the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is back, and the season 4 did not disappoint. And anybody who doesn't know, this show is about a woman who's in the 60s, is fighting for her right to be the kind of comedian that she wants to be. And obviously, you know, the rules of how a lady is supposed to act and all this stuff were very much so still in play then. And so she a cussing, raunchy mouth saying anything about anybody type comedian in a time when it wasn't popular. And so her fight for her independence, for her ability to do what she does. And let me just say, side note, bar none, her dressing is superb, even though it's supposed to be the 60s. But that's one of my favorite eras of dressing. I just think about how back then African Americans was to the nines. I don't care where they were going, like, you know what I'm saying? So I love that period of time when people were really snazzy. And so her wardrobe is everything.
Man, I ain't seen that. What's that on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's why.
That's on Amazon Prime. Marvelous Mrs.
Maisel.
It's amazing.
All right, so I've been on the Bible Project.
Okay.
Now, as much as I thought I knew about the Bible, after watching this, I learned that I knew nothing.
Oh gosh, well, I need to go watch this then, because I probably know nothing.
The way that they break down thematically, the way that they break down the Bible, has helped me so much in studying.
Oh wow.
I understand so much about just even the way that the Bible was constructed and how each, you know, book comes one after the other, and
but it doesn't literally, it's not chronological though.
No, it's not chronological.
Yeah, so yeah.
And so that like it's helped me out tremendously. Like they do a really good job of breaking down the Bible. And I guess it's, you know, it's probably from a what's the word I'm looking for? From a theological standpoint, like how, you know, pastors go to and they learn
theology
kind of a little differently. So I think what they're doing is doing a very good job of taking probably what they learned in a theological seminary and kind of putting it out there for the lay person, the lay Christian, to understand. So yeah.
No, that's good stuff. Where is that?
It's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna go find
the Bible Project on YouTube, and their whole channel comes up, and they have tons of videos.
I'm gonna go watch it.
If you go to their playlist, they'll have it all in like order, so you can go like, all right, let me go look at the Old Testament, or let me go look at the New Testament. Let me go look at the characteristics of God. Let me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. I will go pay and go and watch that. You know me. I'm all for that. Like, yes, anything gonna help me understand.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm all for that. Good stuff. All right.
We're at the end of another one.
Yes, we are.
We want you guys to reach out to us. We want you guys to interact with us.
Please.
We would certainly appreciate it.
Please.
If you want to send us an email just to let us know how we're doing, if you want to be on the show, anything like that, you can send us an email to fieldthe2thereal podcast@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter at fieldthe2therealp1, or on Instagram at fieldthe2therealpodcast. And if you want to see all of our visual content, you can go to our Facebook page, Field to the Real Podcast, right there behind Stephanie's head. Or you can go to our YouTube page where you can see all of our visual content, Field to the Real Podcast. But we thank you guys for always continuing to listen.
Yes.
Definitely reach out to us. Definitely go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is episode 153 of the Field to the Real Podcast. We are out. Peace.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.